On the last video, I had a lot of comments that when I took the queens out of the swarming hives and put them in the nukes, I left behind the swarm cells so that the bees could make a new queen, that I left too many swarm cells. That's what everyone was saying. I left, you know, like a dozen or more swarm cells in there. So I'm supposed to be knocking those off and just leaving like 2, I guess. I've never done that before, but I'm going to go in there today and address that. We're also going to be checking out the nukes to see how they're doing. All right, let's start off with Queen Adrienne's old hive. This is the hive that was the most concerning because there were probably at least a dozen or more than that swarm cells in here. So if we still have capped swarm cells in here, I'm going to knock down a bunch that we don't need. This is a queenless hive. I don't know if any of the cells have hatched yet. Holy crap, this is a heavy super. Oh, wow. Still capped. Probably 6 on that frame. Maybe 7. 6 more on this frame. 7, 8. 7 on that frame. I think I may have just heard a queen. I'm hearing piping. There's like a dozen on that frame alone. I think I just heard a queen. Let's see if I can get her, find which one's making noise. All right, here's the deal here. We have a queen that has emerged, it looks like. Looks like a queen came out of that cell right there. So there's a queen in this hive. All right, so we got the issue now of probably have a queen that's emerged from here, and we got over 20 queen cells in this hive. I think I messed up by not taking out a lot of these swarm cells, and now I've probably got a hatched queen in here running around. I was, you know, off by a day. You know what? I hear a queen. I can hear her. All right, there's another one that's open. There it is. There she is. There's a queen right there. All right, there's a queen. Unmistakable. Can you hear her? She looks good. She's checking out all the other queen cells. So we got a queen on this frame walking around, and we got tons of swarm cells, capped queen cells in here. So I think the thing that everyone's telling me to do is to destroy the excess queen cells. Seems like such a shame. There's 8 queens right there. These are all over the queens. All right, I'm leaving a couple on here. I just removed about 9 queen cells. Okay, here's a frame of bee bread and resources, and a lot of nurse bees, and some really nice queen cells. I'm gonna put this into a nuke and let this become a little colony. So this is going to go right into a new nuke. I'm going to shake some bees into there. One more frame in here of resources for that little nuke I just made. There's a whole bunch of pollen and honey in here. I'm going to put that in the nuke. What we're left with here is a colony filled with bees, lots of resources. We have an emerged queen, at least one, and I got rid of 15 or 20 swarm cells. Give them an empty frame to draw out, and one more empty one to draw out. Our newly emerged queen has a lot of space now, and a lot of bees, and there are still some queen cells in here, but that's okay because she'll deal with them like they normally would. All right, so Adrienne's hive is on the way there's an emerged queen, and hopefully she'll deal with the cells that are in there, go out, mate, and we have a laying queen in like a week. So what I just made up in here is a little nuke, a lot of bees in here. So a frame of resources, brood, and a few queen cells on it that are good looking queen cells, and then a frame of straight up bee bread and nectar. This is a drawn frame and this is a totally empty frame. So we're gonna have, hopefully a queen will emerge and come out and mate, and this will just be another Adrian hive right here. So this is the very first queen cell that I pulled out of Queen Adrian's hive over 2 weeks ago. So it should have emerged by now and maybe even have a laying queen in here. Let's just have a quick peek. That was the gigantic peanut. So this is gonna be a big queen. Okay, nothing obvious here. Oh, there she is. There's a queen. There's a queen in there. I don't know if it's the queen that came out of that cell, because there were some swarm cells in here as well. Okay, so that is a Adrian queen right there. Space delay and good population. Adrian, this is actually Queen Adrian over here. So yeah, just not a lot of bees. There's brood. There's eggs. A lot of resources. Like a ton of resources. Yeah, she's laying like crazy. There's eggs all over here. I really should put another frame of brood in here, emerging brood, but I don't really have one right now. So I'm just gonna leave them. They're doing their thing. There's bees in there. They're not flying away. If I come across some a frame of brood that I can put in here, I will. But right now they're good. So I was in here last night and I noticed that at least one queen definitely hatched because I saw her. And then there was another cell that was open. I destroyed about 25 or 30 queen cells and left a couple of swarm cells in there, but I'm letting the queen deal with that. The thing I do need is I want to try and take some bees out of here and give them to Queen Adrian, because Adrian needs some bees. The actual Queen Adrian is over here in the purple hive. I put her in there like a week ago and a lot of her bees had left. But there's now 2 frames of brood. The queen is in there laying. She needs population. They need bees just for take care of the brood. So I'm going to take some of the bees out of here and shake them in. Okay, these are all just little nurse bees drawing out comb. So I am going to put them right into Queen Adrian's hive. There's our queen right there, or a queen. I want to shake that frame in. There's a queen on that frame. All right, this looks like all nurse bees. Okay, I'm going to shake these bees in. Okay, so Queen Adrian's hive here. There is definitely a queen running around in here. I just took 2 frames of bees and shook them in to the little nuke to build up population. And we're letting swarm cells hatch out. We're letting the queen to figure things out, go on her mating flight. And I'm going to leave these all sealed up for a week. Not gonna mess with them. I'm actually going to put the super that's being drawn out on the bottom. So this is the full super up here and the super that's being drawn out down here. Okay. No more messing with this hive. So Adrian has now a laying queen. She's got brood all over this frame. She's got a frame that is pretty much drawn out, that is being laid, and there were a lot of bees working on it. There's a frame now of capped brood in here with a lot of bee bread. An empty frame, and I shook in 2 frames of bees. So that is Queen Adrian's little nuke. They're off and running. they're gonna get some syrup right now. Okay. So for now, I think the Adrian hive is in a stable place. There's an emerged queen in there, virgin queen. She's got maybe 6 or 7 other swarm cells in there, aside from 30 that there were in there last night. I took one frame of those cells and made a new split. She's in there. She's got a huge hive full of resources. There's 2 supers on there. So she should go out and mate and come back and start laying. All of our nukes, I bumped up Queen Adrienne because she was getting very low on bees, and but she, she wanted to lay. There was a nice pack of bees in there hanging out with her and taking care of her eggs. So she wants to lay. So I put in another frame of a little bit of brood and bee bread and some nectar, and then I shook in 2 more frames. So hopefully that will just stay there and that will become a little nuke. And I don't know if you can see back here, I've rototilled and prepped another acre in the back here that I'm going to drop a pollinator mix and some buckwheat on. And right over here on the other side of the cherry tree, I have an acre of buckwheat and phacelia that has gone down. The buckwheat is starting to sprout. The phacelia is doing nothing, but we're about to get some rainy days here, so hopefully the rain will get that going. And then right here, right next to the bee yard, I've got, I don't know what's that, about 1/3 of an acre or so of sunflowers. So that's all sunflowers right next to the lavender, which is doing nothing. The lavender, man, I cannot get lavender to grow here. Nothing works. I've tried so many things. And did I mention the milkweed? The milkweed is insane. We've got, I mean, no lie, hundreds of milkweed plants growing all over the place. There's all these little islands of like 50 or 100 little milkweed plants all around the property, and that's just going to spread like crazy, and that's great July nectar. The goal is to bridge the July dearth. I want nectar and flowers in July for these bees so they can just get over that hump and be strong when the fall hits. And then we got fall nectar. So that's the plan. We're on track, expanding just right. Things are going well. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.